Okay, so I have recently upgraded my setup and figured I would kind of do a video about it. I know I'm looking kind of like a wild man currently, but hey, what can you do, right? So, anyhow, I'm currently at a rest area or kind of a truck parking area here in Missouri, and I got my telescope set up. So, right now I am doing the Butterfly Nebula, and really I'm just testing it out because I'm trying to learn how to use a program called n.i.n.a instead of using the ZWO ASI Air. And you know the ZWO ASI Air is great and all, but it locks you into the ZWO ecosystem, which kind of sucks because you can only use ZWO cameras or hardware, and it makes life difficult. But it is funny though, because almost all of my equipment is ZWO. In fact, yeah, almost all of it, except for the telescopes. But I would like to be able to, in the future, to buy more affordable cameras. So, anyhow, I'm gonna flip the camera around and show the telescope. Here's my telescope. It's my C8. And I recently got the AM3 mount for it. So you can see that. And I got the SV Bony guide scope. And still using the ASI 120 Mini. And I got the TC40 tripod. And then there is my new imaging computer, which is the Astro PC by Astro Gadget. I got my battery in there, and I'm using Hyperstar. So what's really cool about Hyperstar is it turns this big old giant 2,000 millimeter focal length telescope into a 400 millimeter focal length telescope, and it brings it from f10 to f1.9. So I can do images with this thing that would take hours at f10 in literally minutes. It's insanity. I'll share some of my pictures that I've been able to do with it. But the other thing that's nice about it is, even with these lights, I can get decent images. Yeah, it's just a random truck parking area in Missouri. And there's Jupiter. There's my truck. So anyhow, I will do a screen capture of some of the stuff I'm doing. And we'll go from there. Okay, so this is n.i.n.a. I am currently capturing the Butterfly Nebula. I have been doing it for a little bit, but this screen is a little more hardcore than what I was doing with the ASI Air. But so this is the latest image right here, and I'm doing 30-second exposures. And it looks like right now it just got done dithering, and it's capturing a new image, which you can see right here. Right now my guiding is actually pretty good, 0.78. I hate when it does that. Or 0.73 total guiding. And essentially it uses very similar stuff to what the ASI Air does. Because Air uses open source programs, and then they just kind of modify them and then repackage them. So yeah, I just loaded the latest image. This is PhD2, which is the guider, so you can see the view of my guide scope right here. This is the path, and so yeah, I'm doing pretty good guiding. And then here's where it gets crazy: is I got the sequencer. If it'll load. So yeah, this is hardcore. So I'm using the preset templates by Patriot Astro. Really? Yeah, here we go. So here's my target, LDN 889, which is a butterfly nebula. So right now it's kind of on the downward slope. And then all the options. So I've said do meridian flip when it's done. If it loses tracking, it'll recenter. It reevaluates all these every time. It's kind of like a programming flow if you've ever done like computer programming. So I had it set up so it would wait until nautical dark, and then it will unpark the scope. It'll set the tracking rate, cool the camera to -10, and then this is the start conditions. And then this is what it does to prepare the target. Is it will slew to it and center it. And then it'll start guiding. It'll run an autofocus run. And then it'll start the imaging. And it's set to keep looping until nautical dawn. Okay. And then it's doing 30-second exposures. And it's just going to keep on doing those. And then once nautical dawn is reached, it will then warm the camera and then park the scope, which means it'll point it north and shut it down essentially. So yeah, I mean, there's so many different options in this that it's ridiculous. But yeah, I'm remote desktoping into the mini PC and controlling it that way. Another thing I've set up is I have set up sync thing on it. So as it takes the pictures, it'll refresh, and then it'll upload them to the server that's in my truck. Because the little mini PC only has like 128 gigs worth of storage on it. It's not that much, but it'll constantly, as it loads the pictures, it'll automatically upload them to my truck server, and then my truck server is actually set to automatically upload them to my home server. And yes, I have a server in my truck. I am that much of a nerd. It only has about 20 terabytes of storage, whereas my one at home has way more. So yeah, this is where it's doing all the pictures. So far, this is everything I have taken. I've done about 55 exposures so far, so I've only been on it for about 30 minutes. But yeah, it's pretty cool. So far, I'm liking n.i.n.a. It takes a bit of getting used to, but it just has so many options. Like, one of the things I really like that it does is every time it takes a picture, it'll analyze that picture and it'll measure the stars. And if the stars are out of focus, it'll automatically do an autofocus run. I mean, that is pretty awesome. I can come in here and I can do like the aberration inspector on my images so I can see how it's looking. It's looking pretty cool. It's looking good. I can run the annotations on the image so that it'll show me the individual stars and stuff. I mean, it's pretty cool. Other things you can do is, with my Hyperstar, everything's mirrored because I'm only coming off of one mirror, so I can actually flip it, and that's what it would look like. You can even rotate it, all that stuff. Then this is just the preview stuff, but that little Astro Gadget Astro PC is really good. It's only like, I think it's like $280, so it's actually cheaper than an ASI Air, and it comes with like the four DC plugs on it. Now, unlike the ASI Air Plus, you can't really control them. They pump out 12 volts. That's what they do. You can't monitor them like you can on the ASI Air Plus, so that is the one drawback. But the ability to run n.i.n.a. and run whatever hardware you want, I think compensates for that, because like the ASI 2600 MC Pro from ZWO costs like $1,800, right? The same exact camera or the same sensor made by a different company like Rising Cam is $1,300. So that'll save you $500 right there if you're running n.i.n.a. So I don't know. That's kind of where I'm going with it, but we'll see how everything goes. Also, whenever I image, I am linked up to a thing called Light Bucket. It's a website you can go to, and you can search for me on there, and it pretty much shows whatever I've been imaging. So far using this, I've done 7 targets in 7 sessions. I have just under 200 images. I've, a little under 3 hours. And if you go to it, it'll show the latest images I'm working on. So let me actually, it needs to refresh that because it hasn't refreshed. Yeah, and there I am right there doing n.i.n.a, the Butterfly Nebula. So I've actually done more than what I said a minute ago. So 260 images in about 3 hours. So it'll show the latest image. It'll show, the location, how many subs I've done, and then you can see that right there. And then if you go into it, it'll give you some other details and whatnot. But yeah, it's a pretty cool little program or little site. And then if you go to the web page or the primary page, it'll show like everybody who's currently using it, which is kind of cool. So you can see these are all the different people who are plugged into it, and does the same thing for them. So yeah, see, there I am, and there's someone working on the Iris Nebula, and someone working on the Veil Nebula, and so on. So yeah, it's all pretty cool stuff. But anyhow, I started a web store. You can go to it. It's wesmagyar.info. I've been putting some of my prints on there and posting them for sale. And price includes shipping, so check that out. When I probably finish this image, I'll put it on there. A lot of people told me I should sell my prints, so that's what I'm doing. So far, I haven't really sold any, but what the heck. Anyhow, other than that, don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment, ask a question, whatever. Go to my website, buy a print. Till next time, clear skies.